I think I saw it too. 45 Auto says, I think I saw it too. Thanks, 45. I think there was a lot of numbers in there. You can definitely guarantee that you saw it too. Even in the binary, you probably saw it too. You just didn't even know it was there.
Most likely.
There are 10 types of people that will get that joke. And there's only 10 people in this room right now that will realize I used that joke twice already.
Yeah.
In today.
Nerds.
Nerds.
Oh my God. All right.
There are.
What was I going to say? I forgot.
There
it is. Mike Smith said very 1980s. That's right.
Yeah. When I wake up in the morning and the alarm goes off a warning. Anyway.
That was Cheech and Chong from the 70s, wasn't it?
No, it was Saved by the Bell.
Oh, Steve. No.
You know how I know I'm more than 10 years younger than you?
Yeah, apparently, because you watched Saved by the Bell.
Speaking of, Jim wanted to keep this quiet, but he had a birthday recently. So everybody say happy birthday to Jim. He didn't want all the attention.
Right.
I won't tell you when it was, so I'm still keeping his personal information and his identity secure from theft. But it was recent.
It was very recent. Thank you, Steve.
See now Jim's narrowing it down. See, I was being vague.
I'm not going to say it.
No, don't. You shouldn't.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say, hey, we have a Don in here who's not SKT.
Don Z.
Don Z. How are you?
Don Z.
Right. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you're new to like the whole ham radio on YouTube thing, we have this Don Army because in the very beginning, when this got really popular at the beginning of COVID, there was several Dons. I want to say 5 that were in every single stream all the time. And then we just called them the Don Army and it stuck. So here we are.
Izzo.
Yep.
I can't say Don E's last name. Digidio.
Digidio, yeah.
Digidio. Don Gibbs.
Yep.
Don SKT Don.
That's 4, yeah.
And Don Z apparently. So there's another one of them.
There we go. And Don's Locks is a new one.
And so Don's Locks.
Welcome everybody. So before we get too far into this is the show where you are welcome to join us in the Club Shack while we figure out something ham radio related. Today's topic is WFView. WTF is WFView. I was trying to be clever with the title. I hope that worked. WFView, from what I understand, is supposed to be a way to see the waterfall, WF, and view it on your computer, WFView. And it works on Linux, it works on Windows, it works on Mac OS, it works with ICOM radios specifically. But there may be a way, maybe a future Nuggets episode, we might hack and see if we can, get it to play around with some other non-ICOM radio. But for now, we're going to do it with the ICOM. I have the ICOM 7300, which does not have a built-in network server. So you don't need anything special in order to make this work, apparently. But we'll find out. It'll even work with like an ICOM 703. So like if you've got an old ICOM, dig it out of the back hallway of the shack, plug it in, and play along. There's a link in the description. It's wfview.org. It's not hard to, imagine that that's what the URL is. And I'm going to be doing it on a Raspberry Pi. Don Z, you have not muddied the waters. You are welcome to join the Don Army.
And there's the other one. There he is, the master of disaster.
Don N5 SKT. Don, do you have an IC7? Yes, you do have an IC7000. I remember that. The IC7000 is like the 706, but with a color screen. It's an interesting beast.
That is kind of a neat radio. I've seen pictures of that, and I kind of want one.
I kind of want one.
And then I'm like, no, I don't need another radio.
So I have heard that they drift. They can't stay on frequency.
Well, that's awkward. Don SKT, has he said that?
I don't know. Don, does your 7000 drift? The last time that you used it 2 decades ago, there was a bunch of them for sale at the Yuma Ham Fest. It was like the thing to sell at the Yuma Ham Fest last February or so, because there was at least 15 of them for sale from different vendors. It was really weird. They drift on 2-meter 440. Okay.
I could live with that. K5 YVY up in the house. The law is here.
So Jim, I'm going to play a trick on you real quick. I guess now you see it's coming. Real quick, just look at this comment that I'm going to post on the screen and tell me what this guy's name is. You can just read his YouTube name.
Iowa Hank.
See, you got it right. I called him Iowa Hawk.
Well, I mean, I think they are Hawkeyes.
It's either Hawkeyes or it's Gamecocks.
No, they're Hawkeyes. South Carolina's Gamecocks.
Okay.
Because Gamecock.
Yeah.
No,
So
I'm from the Big Ten. I know all the Big Ten teams, and that's Iowa. Iowa, Hank.
Yeah.
But Illinois is much better than Iowa. Just gonna say that, Hank. Okay.
I called him Hawk, and he said, "Everybody calls me Hawk. What's up with that?" I'm like, "It's your avatar, dude."
Yeah, it's a Hawkeye. It's a hawk.
Yeah.
I think they're the Hawkeyes. Maybe it is just the Hawks.
He says they're the Hawkeyes.
Yeah. Illini are cooler.
All right, so I have a Raspberry Pi to add to the stream, and if we all listen carefully, I have a 7300 to add to the stream. Where is it? That's a nice accent.
I don't think he's from around here. That sounds like a Eastern European Russian accent.
It looks like half of an AM signal too. I have a solid line down the center of the waterfall, and then that on the side. So we'll be able to hear and see if the WFView keeps up with the 7300 and play along. So let me get that screen up on my screen because I can't see it like you can see it.
While you're doing that, I'm going to drop some shout outs to the late comers. Raphael is here, and Nick Smith is dropped in. Iowa Hank, we already talked about you. Mike Smith, we have the Smith brothers up in here.
The brothers Smith.
The brothers Smith. Aussie Ham Radio made it. I saw ZL2TOY Dusty.
Dusty.
Call sign right. Yep. Jody's in here from VE Land. Renee, and I saw somebody earlier. JampScan is in here.
JampScan.
I saw somebody, Mommy, and I can't. Where'd she go? I don't know. So I'm sure there's a lady in the house. So y'all don't act like heathens.
Right. I think it's Xmas Mommy's in the house.
Xmas Mommy. That's it. I knew it was somebody, Mommy. Y'all don't be heathens. Clay's here.
Downloaded fast.
Toast Dog. Scott, W9AVA. We got a lot of newish people in here. Welcome.
That web browser is hurting for performance. I don't know what's going on there. So again, this is on my Raspberry Pi. I don't know if I finished my opening spiel or not, but we do not know what we're doing. That's the purpose of this exercise is we're just going to play and hopefully figure it out all together with all you guys helping along at home. And if you want to grab your radios and play along, please do so. Sometimes I forget to say that. And people are like, you guys are just a bunch of fools. Don't know what you're doing. That's correct.
That is our jam. Steve gets mad at me when I'm like, what are we doing this week? And he tells me, and then I go
prepare.
I'm like, I'd like to kind of know what we're going to do.
We're gonna ham radio. That's what we're doing. So the Toast Dog says our Pi 4. Yes, this is a Raspberry Pi 4. So
Steve is flexing right now.
I also have an Evolve 3 Maestro.
Oh, you fancy boy.
That is actually a little bit faster.
You know, we had some interesting comments the other day from our show on Saturday that we were being elitist with our radio. I forgot what we called the title of the show, but we were.
Oh, it was one where we wanted to have, talk about features that should be in radios or something like that.
Yeah. Because one of us. That's right. One of us, and I think it was Ape, and it might have been Steve, it might have been me, it might have been Chuck. I don't know who said it. But we're like, this is a radio I wouldn't recommend for a beginner. I think it was Ape. And it's like, we are the farthest that you will ever see from elitist hams here.
Right.
I mean, we're here to, I do this because I enjoy it, and these guys are the same way. And
yes.
And Steve's show is great because, like he really wants us to do, is to jump into something that we don't know what they're doing. And if you ever saw our D-Star show, holy crap, you would understand that we had no idea what we were doing.
But we did do it right. We did make it work in the end.
Right. Actually, it would have been working before then, but we were being thwarted by the man, unbeknownst to us at the time.
Don, what happened to Frank's laptop? So Jim, I don't know if I want to let you field this question or not, but VE2FGJ Radio is asking WTF does WTF mean in the title?
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Got it in one. It means why the frown?
Yeah, that's what it means.
Yeah.
When
and Mike, you are correct. We are doing this for chicks.
Right. Straight up for the chicks, man. That's right. What's up, K Mike? What else was I going to mention? Something else. We still have some Cartenas in stock right now. We have some Apollos, and I think on this at the moment we have one Mercury on the website and probably 3 or 4 Apollos left. So if you are interested in one, go to coffeeandhamradios.com and you can get one from there. If you are outside the continental, well, actually, if you're outside the United States, not just the continental United States, we can ship overseas. It will not work on the website. You need to hit one of us up, email, Discord, whatever. We just shipped one to Canada today, but we have to handle it manually because the shipping gets weird. And I'll be honest, I'm not good enough to figure out how to do international shipping so that it doesn't cost more to ship it than the device costs. But in any case, we have antennas in stock. Wasn't Frank doing a video on his Maestro tonight?
He did. Yeah.
I haven't. I just got done eating dinner right before this, so I haven't seen anything else.
Oh, that's right. It is boot looping. He did. He asked me about that, and I said warranty. So what Frank said, to catch everybody up who wasn't in the Learning Morse code stream that we did last night in the Toads Discord, there's a link for Toads Discord in the description down below. Frank said that he boots it up, he goes into the BIOS, and while he's sitting there in the BIOS hands off, it just reboots itself over and over again.
Warranty.
So yeah, warranty. Because if it can't run the most basic code, then good luck going any farther than that. Like, there's no troubleshooting you can do if you can't get software installed on it from a software
Well, I mean, if
perspective.
it's rebooting out of the BIOS, then you know, that ain't gonna buff out. But now, see, Frank lives close to a micro center, I think. I mean, he's in Texas somewhere, and I'm not sure where the micro center's at. Austin, somewhere around there. I don't know.
Could be. So this does not give me any confidence that it will work in a. And Jody, you are correct, but those are all surface mount stuff. So it would be interesting to fix that. So this doesn't give me confidence that it's going to work on a Raspberry Pi. I might have to compile this, which ought to be interesting because I don't really see source code here. Let's do sudo /install, which is what it said to do. Copies the following items onto your system: an icon, the application, the desktop, the shortcut.
You need to jump down into build.
Well, I don't see a build folder.
Do not run it from the source directory.
So this is the built version. So I don't have it from the source directory. Copying files now, done. Okay, so it put it on the desktop. It put it in the menu.
Suspicious.
Could it be this easy? Where did it go?
Not on our show, my friend.
Let's see. Is it going to run? I don't expect this to run because I didn't check which processor this was built for. I just downloaded it.
Hef says PSA, when using the PP with the Maestro and a LiFePo battery, use a buck converter, step down to 13 volts to 12.7-ish.
Oh, because it doesn't like it.
It doesn't like it. I wonder if Frank's too hot.
It could have been.
Was he running off a battery? Like I said, I hadn't seen his video or anything. I don't know. And I've only ever run mine off the power adapter that came with it. So
That's what I thought.
Oh, is there a Chinese buffet by it? I would be all over that, Lon. I love the Chinese buffet.
So I was right. I did download the x86 64 version, and this is not, obviously it's a Raspberry Pi. It's not an x86 64 version. So that's the official release. To build from source on Linux, including for use with Raspberry Pi, please see here. Let me share that with you. I don't know why the web browser on this machine is running really slow.
Is that Chromium itself?
Yeah.
It is.
So I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to open up a browser on my desktop, and I'm going to share that window out instead, so that we have some speed. Stop, present, share, window. This one. There we go. Building from source. Building WFView from source with Linux is easy and takes only a few minutes. The process is detailed in the install.md and the README. However, we have made our build script available, which simplifies Debian, Debian Unstable, Arch, Manjaro, GUIX. So we'll go with Debian build.
Which is, what are you running on that, Raspbian?
Raspbian, yeah. So it says, including Raspberry Pi. Latest version of the master branch of WFView by running this script. Okay, let's copy that link. Let's stop this screen and share the other screen.
Now you should be able to just run that through bash, right? From the command line.
Should be. Clean up our mess.
Right, Mike. I mean, it's a $60 laptop. And as far as those things go, my $60 laptop that my friend Don SKT got for me, not for free, I paid him. I have a line right across the middle of the screen.
Oh, yuck. Warranty, man.
Warranty would be me shipping it back to Don and Don having to go to Micro Center to get it replaced. And Don already did me a favor by going and getting it. So,
oh, that stinks.
And then he felt bad about shipping because that cost half the price of the laptop to ship the darn thing. So I'm with Don. If I ship it back to him, that's another $60 in shipping probably for a $60 laptop.
Okay, so that actually wound up being not a shell script. It wound up being a web page that contained the shell script on it.
Don Z,
really?
It's not that we completely don't know what we're doing, but on this show, Steve's premise for the show, which is a good one, I love it, is we're going to do some ham thing we ain't ever done. And we encourage everyone at home to play along with us. Sometimes it works well. Sometimes it's, the D-Star show was 2.5 hours of frustration.
To be fair, the problem was on the server side.
It totally was not us, but we
not
were
us.
banging.
We didn't know that it was on the server side.
Right. We thought we were just completely incompetent. And
hey, now that's a bash script.
No replacements available right now.
Download this file to download. So I think I actually did that by accident. Open in a terminal, type these commands.
Thanks, Don. I appreciate that, buddy. Jerk.
He didn't say you were ignorant. He said you were the right, and you said you were the right amount of ignorant. And also, this is the thing that bugs me because I don't know what word to use in its place, but ignorant means that you don't know something, not that you know better, but did it anyway. Like, hold my beer, watch this. No, ignorance, like, I didn't know that if you mix those two chemicals together, they would explode.
Right.
Now I know,
YouTube, he doesn't really mean that. It was just a theoretical statement he made.
What did I say?
You said chemicals and explode.
Oh, correct. Yes. So I'm trying to, like, if anybody has a better suggestion for the word ignorant, because, like, I think it's the right word to use, but has the wrong connotation in today's world.
It does to the ignorant, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm going to get meta with it. You can be willfully ignorant, which is, kind of like my ex-wife, or you can just be ignorant of a fact, ignorant of some information. It means you don't know the information. It is always taken negative, but it's not really, that's not the correct usage of the word, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here's a fun thing I like to say, because it's another use of the word that people mistake. So I like to say, how people say there's no stupid questions? There are no stupid questions, only stupid people. People who don't know things. Right?
I'd say ignorant people.
Right. There are no ignorant questions, only ignorant people.
And then Don just nailed that one.
The way you get an ignorant is to ask, get unignorant is to ask questions. That is correct.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to run this thing and let's see what happens. It's going to install a bunch of dependencies for us, which is nice. Unknowledgeable. Now, see, an ignorant person wouldn't know what that word means.
Oh, Hollywood nailed. Yeah, Hollywood nailed it. You can fix ignorant. You can't fix stupid.
You can't fix stupid.
Right. It's a felony in all 50 states and the territories.
So I heard just recently that France, Paris specifically, as recently as 2014, just passed a law allowing women to wear pants.
How progressive of them.
I know. It's great. I mean, it was only like 10 years after we did it.
Right. Kevin, hey, buddy, good evening. K7SW up in the house, too.
Kevin, are you playing along? I don't think you have an ICOM radio, Kevin. I've never seen an ICOM radio in your possession.
Okay, Don, I'm trying, Don. I'm reaching out to you tonight. Very heartfelt. My friend Don hooked me up with a Maestro laptop.
And then just snaps it off at the end.
No, it's because we have neuroses from dealing with programmers who are always trying to get around things and thwart stuff. You guys remember the old Cheech and Chong skit about, I can't remember the whole thing. He had to write an essay for class about what he did on his summer vacation. And it ended up that he went downtown to look for a job and then hung out in front of a drugstore. And he repeated that a couple times. I think it was Tommy Chong that was doing it. And he said then he got a job keeping people from hanging out in front of the drugstore. So my job is to keep people from looking at Facebook and non-work related internet sites all day. Elephant. That's right. Sister Mary Elephant. That's right. So my job is to keep people from wasting time by looking at the Facebook on the internet and the Twitter and that. So I look at it for them and try. Yes.
All right. So it says press enter to download the source code. Let's do it. And it's using git clone like Don wanted. The build process may take a few minutes. Press enter to start. We've got time. We're among friends.
This seems like it's going swimmingly well.
I know, this is scary. We've only made one mistake so far. And to be fair, I would blame that on WFView's webpage because it didn't say download the source for x86-64. It said download for Linux, which is what I did. I'm not complaining, but we're splitting hairs here.
Right. Kevin, I am this close to ordering that antenna. I'm going to go back and watch your video one more time, and I still think I'm going to order it.
Am I using Sambo CM? No.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it means, so I know I'm not using it. To be fair,
I'm not the only one who's ignorant.
Yes. So what antenna are you ordering from Kevin?
I'm not ordering an antenna from Kevin. He uses that. We've talked about it, and now it's left my mind. Dang it.
The last one I know Kevin was using was the Chameleon F loop.
Yes, thank you.
Wait till I have to get it to work on the radio. Aussie's telling me that there's doom and gloom on the horizon here. So I think that Chameleon F loop would be an interesting antenna. I just think that it's very expensive.
Yeah. I personally think that used amateur radio gear and antennas are, for the most part, overpriced.
So I'm not saying that it's not worth it, but the price on that has creeped up because of all of the things that they include with it.
Right.
So like they include the metal loop, which is money. They include the bag, which is money. They include the tripod, which is money. Then you actually get the antenna, which is the regular loop and the matching unit on it. So I mean, you could build one of those matching units and a loop antenna for, I don't know, $50, $60. And then they want like 500 for that thing. So, I mean, it's quality, which is driving the price up as well. I'm trying to very nicely say that it's worth the price, but you get a lot for what you're paying.
Yeah. And I don't remember if that matching loop, you have to twiddle that. That's not remote, I don't think.
They do have a remote control for it, a motorized controller for it, which is an additional add-on and obviously an add-on cost.
Right.
So I think what Kevin has done with it, where he was at the local craft fair, craft show, preparedness show thing in his one video. We're talking about K7SW Ham Radio YouTube channel here. He set up a table, a booth at the show, and then had the antenna and the radio there. And you can then do a full demo of ham radio in front of somebody. Whereas, like, a big wire antenna doesn't fit well at a, Main Street vendor fair type deal.
That is not the antenna I was thinking about. No, it's the LEFS 8010.
Lightweight end-fed sloper.
Yeah, that's the one that Kevin did a video on a couple months ago. And if you guys haven't seen Kevin's channel, and it's kind of turned into a Kevin ad, but he's got a great channel, K7SW Ham Radio. Check it out.
So Don's talking about J4, which is tell it to use all the processor cores. Let's look at this script and see if it does the thing. So
I
this
didn't
is
know
where
that
it's
one, Don.
installing all the dependencies and even more dependencies. Cloning the source. Make dir build.
Yeah.
Yes. QMake. So he's using QMake, Don. Make-J2. There it is.
So that's only going to use 2 cores, I assume?
Yeah. So now let's come over here and let's do...
I'm not sure what you're asking. The ICOM updates? You mean for the radio, the firmware updates?
Do we use a sandbox machine to do these ICOM updates? I don't have a sandbox radio, so no.
Yeah, I don't either.
I understand the concept that he's talking about. So this Raspberry Pi is kind of bored because it stopped to ask me a question because it finished building while we were looking at it, and it's done. Okay, let's try this again. And this may not...
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, this may not work because we already did it wrong once before.
Can you
what were you going to say, Jim?
Oh, I was gonna pontificate. Can you uninstall ICOM firmware updates? Can you back up? I don't even know.
Well, the way to back up would be to install the older version of the firmware.
That's what I'm saying. But can you? Because in some things, it may or may not work right.
That's true. Because I don't know if it does a full wipe first. Like the Zygu radio. Zygu is really good at the firmware update process, but not so much at the firmware itself. Don, it says it can't know the number of cores, and so J2 is safe. J2 is safe, but it could look up. It could ask the machine the number of cores. Oh, it's thinking harder. Oh, it's booting up. It's loading.
Sweet.
There it is.
Now you're hooked up via USB to the 7300, right?
IR, yes.
Bueno. Very
Okay,
good.
so somewhere around here, cancel connection, about, save settings. I'd have to make a setting before I save it. Settings tab at the top. So again, we're totally blind doing this. I think I can outrun her. Yes.
I can outrun mine, but it's the other things that I can't outrun that she has access to.
Serial device, TTY, USB. Yeah, you can't. Well, here's the funny thing. You can't outrun a bullet, but she can't outrun the radio.
Right. True that.
I don't think this is set at 11.
At 115.2?
I'm going to keep it there, but I don't think that's where I have it set. So radio connection is serial, USB, or network. So this will hook up to your 7610, your 705, or your 9700 via network.
It sure will.
I'm not going to put in...
You should need that, and fortuitously, there they are.
Yeah. So it gave me a little tooltip. It wants 94 for the 7300, so I'm going to put in 94.
And that's the default for the 7300, those numbers, pull up your tooltip again for that. Those are the defaults for those particular radios. You can change that. To my knowledge, on the 7300 and 7610 and 9700, I don't know about some of those other ones. I think you can even on the older ones, and change that CIV address. And the only reason you'd really want to is if you had two of the same radio
connected to the exact same computer.
Yeah, but I don't even know why you would have to do that if it's on two different serial connections, but you can change it. So FYI.
When tuning, set lower digits to 0. Okay. Allow tuning via click and drag. Interpolate waterfall. There's a bunch of stuff here. Nice. Enable PTT controls. Why not? I'm sitting right next to the radio. I can do that. Color scheme dark or bright.
Excuse me.
Radio settings. Modulation input. Data mod input. I can't pick those. I guess you probably have to wait till after it connects.
Yeah. And if you can change those from the app, that's awesome.
Oh, this is neat. So this is what I thought this could do. So you can use this to connect to your radio, and then this becomes your cat driver for the downstream device. So if I wanted to use WFView and WSJT-X at the same time, usually they'll complain that the serial port's already in use. So now I can use WSJT-X telling it to connect to WFView to send cat commands to the radio. So
and
serial
that
lines,
is
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and that's great because Ham Radio Deluxe does that, but this costs a considerable amount less than Ham Radio Deluxe.
About that's 100% less.
Yeah, until I got the 7610 and SDR control, that's how I remoted my radio. Because I would remote to my Windows machine and use HRD to fire the radio up, and then WSJT-X
See you later, Hef.
used HRD as the middleware.
So this experimental page contains experimental features. Use at your own risk. I will enable every feature on this page right now. Done. Does this run on Windows 7? I believe it does, actually.
Oh, there he goes. There he goes.
That was Ape, actually.
Yeah, I know. I saw him.
Well, I thought you were just assuming it was Ron because it was a Windows comment.
Well, I did when you started to say that, and I looked at the chat and I saw it was the Smoking Ape. What's up?
View. Okay, so now I have settings saved, radio status. I'm not connected to a radio. Cancel, connect. And it is not connecting. Okay. Second problem of the day.
All right. Are you sure you have the right? Well, we don't know about the speed either. Go look up your connection speed on your radio. I think it defaults to 96 or 19.2.
Let's see. Menu, set, connectors.
I believe it's on 19.2 by default.
CIV 19.2. Save, cancel, connect. Oh, now we're connected. $14,266 is the frequency I'm on. Why do I not have a waterfall?
Twiddle your knob. Yo, look at that. I see knob twiddling on the screen.
Yeah, okay, so.
Very nice. Very nice.
On the U.S.-Canadian border. Got a nice signal, 5.9.
So
love to
S8
know
signal.
what you're running in the antenna. W7JBM.
So there's got to be a button to turn this on.
Yeah, very good, Ken. Before I forget, you're peaking about 5.6 there last.
Okay, so I just hit the 20 meter band to switch me to the 20 meter band.
Oh, yeah. Ron actually makes a very good point here, Steve. In HRD,
Yes.
I did the same thing. Set your speed on the radio all the way to the top. Set it to 115.2. The serial line can handle it, and it will probably let you have a better waterfall. That waterfall is very dependent on speed. Did he freeze? Am I froze? Somebody was froze.
Yeah, it was me. I guess I'm the only other person here. What did it do?
Did
the
you
audio
hear me?
settings. No. You said Ron makes an interesting point, and that was the last I heard.
Turn your speed up to 115 too.
Okay.
Because I think in HRD, if I remember, because HRD will do a waterfall for the 7300, but they want you to be on USB and they want you to have it cranked up all the way. And there may be another setting we missed in there, but I would definitely turn up the COM port speed all the way. Did you change the speed in the radio? I think he froze again. Yeah, TO froze again.
I don't know what's going on.
With your froze? You're freezing?
Yeah. So I changed that speed, and I no longer have connected to the radio.
You changed it on the radio too?
Yep. And I changed it to 19.2, and I'm connected again. Okay, so there's one more thing that we are missing. Let me change screen shares.
Maybe the COM port doesn't support 115.2 on Raspbian.
I don't know.
Because, I mean, I ran my 7300 at 115.2 all day, so the radio supports it.
Yeah.
Software acts like it supports it, but maybe the hardware doesn't. I don't really know, although I would think on a Pi 4 it would. And it's not like 115.2 is some bleeding edge speed.
Okay, so that's building from source. There's got to be like some 7300 settings. Because somebody was saying that it took a while to get the 7300 running.
Ape said you're using a gas station USB cord.
I am. But I admit it.
Hollywood said, I don't have no gas station USB cords. That's Ape just being Ape. I mean, mine came from Walmart, okay? Quality.
Save.
I think Joe Brett said he had some trouble with his.
Cancel, exit.
Okay, Wes, I thought there was, and I don't have a 7300 to look at. Wes said there's two settings. There's one for CIV rate and one for USB baud rate. I would set both of those to 115 too.
So there's two. Where's the second one? USB serial, USB baud rate.
Try setting that one to 115 too. Because I think the CIV rate one of those didn't go as high as the other.
I don't have a USB baud rate setting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do. Hang on. Yeah, so the CIV baud rate goes to 19.2. And the other one, CIV USB baud rate, goes to 115.
Yeah, set that one up to 115.
And then there's that whole link from remote, unlink from remote thing, which is just a mess.
Yeah, just since you got it to connect, I don't think we need to mess with that at the moment.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. I hit the exit button. Hang on.
Yeah, and Jody said you may need to snatch the cable out and reinsert it after you change the speed. Maybe. I don't know.
So I got Waterfall now, but it's a delayed Waterfall.
Okay. We're getting there.
WB4DK.
And I don't know why, but it changed my filter to filter 3.
Keep listening, keep learning. Nobody can do it. But the thing is,
Ziggle Fingers is telling us that unlink from remote should be on and make sure USB is set to 115 too.
My pleasure from Salem, Oregon. Thank you.
So unlink from remote is where I have it, and I need to switch it back in order to do, and the Waterfall froze. I need to switch it back in order to do the normal stuff. Interesting. I was in the menu on the radio, and the Waterfall stopped. So I get out of there.
I drove to Georgia to buy Powerball tickets yesterday.
Ape says it's like the 998 Waterfall, 991A Waterfall. And change color. Candy. Seems legit.
Joe Brett has a good point. Why don't you kill it and restart it?
For what?
I don't know. He said kill it and restart it.
Because it's working.
Ish.
Great. It looks like an X-ray. It's like a sonogram.
Yeah. Looks like it's a boy. Is it still 1.9 billion? I don't know if it had gotten up any higher today.
It was 1.9 for today's drawing. I won $24. I immediately got into our back chat and said, and left.
I can tell you that if I won that thing, I would waste a lot of money on amateur radio gear.
All right, so let's go down to something strong in the waterfall.
Now, for what it's worth, this also runs on Mac and Windows too, you guys. Steve is doing it on the Pi, but it does run on other computers.
So only 2 problems. Maybe check your top processes. You may have some nonsense hung on the Pi. I might. Let's check that out.
And Ape speaks the truth.
WFView's only taken 6% CPU. It's doing the thing.
Yeah, but
That's
that waterfall,
investment to 0 returns.
that waterfall is so slow that, I mean, I can see the wave lengths processing.
Yeah. I wonder why it is slow. To fixed, cancel, clear peaks.
Well, I kind of wonder if this is a graphics card, graphics driver issue too.
It
Not
could
a
be.
issue, but just it's
Okay, so the tune button did work. I guess it just leaves the last button that you hit pushed. Transmit button works. Preamp 1. Forget where that lights up. Okay, so it just turns the preamp on, but doesn't display it on the screen that it's on or off. It just looks like little waves shimmering at night. Attenuator, nice. Antenna. I can't choose antennas. You can choose antennas on yours.
I would assume so.
So I can change the RF gain. I can change the volume. Yep, that works.
Oh yeah, that works.
Change the squelch. We'll turn that off. TX power. What is UNC? What is UNK?
Unknown.
Yeah, I know. Nice. Reference, len, top, bottom. I can change the top and the bottom. So I can do receiver interval tuning. Nice.
When was this last updated? Maybe this is set for the older firmware on the 7300.
When was the software last updated? Let's see.
Yeah.
About.
How current is it?
So it's 2022.
Okay.
Build November 7th.
The 7300 firmware came out a year and a half ago. 1.3, 1.4. I can't remember the number. Maybe 1.31. Hollywood, I would probably get more scope than I even know how to use. A ginormous key site of some sort.
UNK. UNK is listed on the experimental page. It is, Ron. And I have it checked. That's why it's showing up here. Okay, Jim, your turn. You want to share out your screen and see what we can do with yours if yours is any faster?
Yeah, we can do that.
Because that'll prove if it's a Raspberry Pi or not a Pi thing.
Right. Oh, that's not the screen I wanted to share. Hang on.
That's like sharing a screen and sharing a screen.
Yeah, because I'm remoted into the Windows computer, so I got to share a window.
Yeah, shooter ready, standby. Dave would start a trust. My family would be set forever and ever, and that could be true. The 4% rule.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Land, USB, ACC, UNK. The next slider will have a name based on the currently selected transmit mode. Audio source. UNK is for radios that have dual mic USB modes. Excellent. Thank you, Jody. That's WFView on your machine?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a Pi thing for sure then, because you're screaming.
Yeah. I'm on... now, I have not played with the interface very much. I discovered I'd already installed this God knows when and fired it up today from work and said, yeah, I do have it, and it works. And now on mine, which you can see here, I'm using the network connection. That may be a difference as well, Steve. And you might want to try yours with 705. Because I'm using the network connection, so I'm not using USB to connect to this thing. And I'm on a gigabit copper backbone, so
while you're doing that, I'm actually going to, while you're controlling the demo scene here, I'm going to do it. I'm going to download it on my Linux machine, which is considerably faster than a Raspberry Pi, and install it over there and see what happens.
Now, the other thing, when I was playing with this last night, yeah, the scroll wheel will move.
The VFO?
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to move it reliably. You can also twirl this button as well. And I think there's that's the span. Let's widen that out a little bit. There we go. And I think there's a setting for, and there's your antenna settings right there. Antenna 1, antenna 2. I was looking to see if there was an increment or rolling the knob, because you see this is moving it like 1 kilohertz at a time.
Yeah, there's got to be a step setting somewhere. I can hardly see your screen though. That might be my fault. Really?
Let's see. So let's go to settings and take a look at those. Draw peaks.
Jamscan's asking if you can change the waterfall colors. Yes, you can.
Yeah. Let me turn it off at dark. Let's take a look at that. Let's turn off use system theme. Ooh, that changed it. Okay. So this looks like you can set some presets, or that's just a giant screen for typing in a digit.
Oh, is that your frequency input? Yeah, that's your frequency input.
Okay.
I guess that mimics what's on the radio. It would be nice if you had a touch screen, but
yeah. Yeah. That's
Greg says he knows the guy that made it. He would love to be on. You think he's awake right now, Greg? We'd love to have him come join us on the show.
Get him on the show. We'd love him.
Or we could have him come back for a future show.
Yeah. I think that's kind of a weird waste of space, but yeah, so that didn't change the frequency. Go. So do I have gain on this somewhere? Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's working great. So there's bumping the RF gain up. That's the audio. Squelch is down there. I assume that's transmit gain. I guess. Does it have a transmit power? Okay, that makes sense. Mic gain and Spectrum reference level adjust. Oh, that's kind of nice. Does this transmit? Yep, it kicked my tuner. Yep, and it's kicking the go button. So that's sweet. And what I don't know is where the audio's at.
Yeah, because you should be able to hear the audio, I think.
Yeah, I did this yesterday. I had it coming out the speakers. And I don't see, unless I'm missing it, I don't see anything here for, and I've got
Below
it
the
up.
dial you turn.
Huh?
I said, look below the dial you turn is what Mike is saying.
The dial, the only dial is that one.
So what's below that? There's a drop down there.
Oh, there's our tuning increment right there. That's our step. And then frequency lock and RIT mode is lower sideband. And then you could enable data. Span edge spectrum mode.
So a kiddo is asking if you can put the cursor over the frequency readout and use the mouse scroll wheel to change.
Yes, you can. And that is what this does right here below the wheel. That's your step increment or your knob, right? See, it's changing now. It's changing in 1 kilohertz increments. And then that also changes it up here too. And that's what I'm doing is scrolling up here in the spectrograph part. Ooh, some of these are ugly.
Yeah. Go back to that gray one, because that's the one we were saying looks like a sonogram.
Ooh, I like that. The gray
Holy
one.
moly, compiling this on my laptop, my Linux laptop is very fast.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it looks more like a sonar trace than anything else to me.
So Jody's sounded like he's used this one quite a bit. Keyboard shortcuts plus and minus for 100 hertz increments. Shift and or control plus are 1 kilohertz. Page up, page down are 1 megahertz increments.
Oh, here we go. Audio input.
Yeah.
So let's change that to. Oh, okay. That's weird. So sample rate is there, and there's the sample rate right next to the words audio output. And there's the audio output. So let's change that to USB codec. And change that to. Oh, you know what? I'm running this on a Windows machine over there. I'm not running this on the Mac. No wonder this isn't. So I will have to, I'll have to get the Mac version of this and try it. Let's see.
I hear something.
Yeah. Now that's the speakers off the Windows machine behind me. But I should be able to bring that audio over. So what it won't let me do is click in the waterfall to jump to a signal.
It might be a 7300 thing. You're connected over Ethernet? Jim's thinking. You can't think and hear and talk at the same time. Only the top of the line models can talk. Boy, he's really out of it. Just gonna have to wait for him to get back. Hey, there's Jim. How's it going, Jim?
Hey,
So are you connected to your 7610 over Ethernet?
yeah, let me mute this. Hang on.
Is it too loud in your ears?
Okay.
Because we can barely hear the radio.
You can't. Yeah, I've got it turned down because it's very loud in my head.
Right. No, that's why you couldn't hear us. We were talking to you the whole time you were looking
I
at the
heard you
radio.
yakking, and I'm sure there was snark coming. No,
Never.
So I'm remoted into my Windows machine. The Windows machine is connected over the LAN to the 7610.
Okay.
I did not realize that this would. Jesus. Okay. I did not realize that this would work on the Mac, or I would have loaded this natively on the Mac and ran it.
So this is me running on my i7 Dell laptop instead of my Raspberry Pi. And it's still pretty slow. So I'm thinking this is serial port waterfall update speeds.
That very well may be.
So
As you say, mine is just jamming. It's looking great.
Yeah. So entertain them. I'm going to go get my 705 and cable it in.
Entertainment again. Okay. Yeah, Ape, I tried clicking in the band scope, and that's what I'm doing. I don't think you guys can see my mouse cursor. Oh, yeah, you can. I'm clicking there. Actually, let's go here. I'm going to try and jump over to here. Nothing. Right click doesn't give me anything. Well, now it did it. Okay, now it's doing it. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be taking mouse clicks with any regularity, but so that does work. Clicking in the scope part. Very cool. And then we can set frequencies, which I never did get to work. This will jump bands for us here. So
Can you get rid of the peak hold? Did you already answer him?
I think we can get rid of peak hold. I saw that somewhere. There we go. Draw peaks. Turn that off. Right up there in the upper left corner. So let's take a look. How about that? That's much better. And then I don't know if you were here when Ape asked about clicking on the scope. It does work. It seems to be kind of sometimes it moves and sometimes it doesn't. But the mouse is responding because I can move everything else and click drop down, so it's not a function of the remote being a problem. But clicking in the band scope doesn't always want to change the...
Click on the waterfall instead of the band scope.
All right, let's go to that one.
Double click. I think I read somewhere there was something going on there. It jumped a little bit, didn't it?
Let's try it. Let's go the other way.
Maybe drag. Nope.
I got it to move by clicking up here in the band scope. But now it's not doing it again. So that's interesting. I don't know what the deal is with that. But this is cool. I have an MFJ 993B tuner, and I'm driving an ICOM 7610 over my network here. And this is working pretty well. Now, what I would like to find out is, let's see if I can get WSJT-X to drive this thing. Like Steve was talking about. So file settings. So you'd have to set cat control. Does it list WFView in here? No, it doesn't list it.
Jamscan, I'm looking up that scroll wheel question of yours. Okay, so in the settings box under user interface, Jim, there was a allow tuning via click and drag, which is experimental, which may or may not have been turned on for you.
Let me double check then.
I am not seeing a way to set the wheel as the VFO, but if you do, Jamscan, if you hover over the dial on the screen and roll the wheel, it will VFO for you. Hey, Mick, no problem.
I don't see experimental on here at all.
So hang on a second. You should have you're missing something on your settings page.
That's what I got.
Let me show you what I'm working with here. So you see how on my settings page I have this whole group on the side? So you might just have an older view. And then it's...
Yeah, and it could be because this was already on my computer when we started talking about this yesterday, so I don't know how old this version is. Well, that's interesting. So let me jump out of this then and go download the current version.
So the other thing I wanted to note real quick while I was sharing my screen is that under radio access settings, this is on the Ubuntu Linux Mint laptop. I didn't change any of the settings. I didn't set the CIV address. I didn't change any of the baud rate settings. I just plugged it in and launched the software and it was already connected. So pretty slick.
Cool.
Okay, so now I need to do radio connection via network. Host name is IC705. I don't remember there being a username or password. But I'm also not going to do that. 192.168.200.123, I think it is.
Well, I'm going to download the Mac version and run this directly on the Mac.
Yeah, it's 123. I don't remember setting a username and password.
And okay, so the Mac version, Windows version was released September 22. All of these were. So yeah, I had an old version, I'm sure. Let me install the Mac binary directly.
A4?
I'm going to look at the chat while you're pontificating. Let's see. Jim does know how to double-click Joe Brett. Mm-hmm. Yes, and Jamscan, the mouse scroll wheel was moving it up in the scope view and the little wheel down at the bottom left. We do know N4POD. That's Jeff. I met Jeff at Huntsville.
Okay, so now I have my username and password. Oh, nice. The stars on the password field. Hang on, folks. Stop. Don't worry, I tested it first. Oh, there's stars once you finish typing it in. Okay, so it says I am connected. And I always want to hit this exit program button to get out of the settings screen. It seems like the natural thing to do to press the OK at the bottom corner. Mick, we do know Jeff. Yes, and I didn't realize Jim just sent that, but I wanted to say it too. And this is much faster. Much faster. So that's what it was. It's the 7300 serial port that was the slow dog. Have I heard of Dragon OS? Yes, I have heard of Dragon OS. Carl uses it on his channel a lot, but I have not installed it and played with it yet. It's on the radar, but so are so many other things. So look at that speed, Jim.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
So I played with this software a while ago, and I like almost 2 years ago now. And I think what I was trying to do was I was trying to use this to have virtual audio come through. Yes, this does beat $150 for the ICOM mess. 100% agreed.
Absolutely.
And what I was trying to do was I was trying to get a wireless connection to the 705 to do FT8. And there was a way to get audio to do that. So who knows? Settings. External. Radio settings, radio server. Radio status. Oh, we have a radio status. Baud rate 19.2. Right. And this IP address is my laptop's IP address. Repeater settings. Nice. This is definitely more usable on a network interface radio than on a serial interface radio.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have got this. Let me reshare this guy out. Winder. So here is the Mac version of it.
Oh, it looks like you're all up to date.
Which shows up much better. And I'm not using Windows, so that'll make some people happy. So network is set up. Where's the connect to the radio button? All I see is cancel.
You have to hit
connection.
cancel first. And
Okay.
then now you can
There
now
we
you
go.
are connected.
Sweet.
This only works on ICOM radios so far, Phil. Yes.
Okay, so that looks better. I like that a lot. Now, see, that moved it, but then it jumped back. See that? It keeps popping back. Oh, no, it's moving the center. Okay, that's what's weird. So I'm on 726 here with the mouse, and when I click that, then that moves 726 to the center. Okay, that makes sense. Then this is your span for your waterfall, which is fine. I'm going to put it back to 50K. Spectrum mode. Makes sense. There is our
500K waterfall. Geez.
There's our tuning increment. And then all the same settings. Now, do you have the unknown again? No, you don't have the unknown now. Oh, yeah, the Mac version of this is jazzy.
What kind of delay do you experience if you were using SSB to have a QSO? Let's see. Give me this cable. I gotta cable some stuff in.
I didn't notice any. I've used SDR control from my office and had a QSO, one QSO. So I couldn't really tell you if there was a delay because the radio was here, Kevin, and I'm listening at work. So, you know, I have no way to really tell if there was a delay because I wasn't with the radio.
Oh, nice. So I'm not sharing out my screen. Hang on. All right, so now I'm sharing out my screen and I'm moving the VFO back and forth with my finger on the radio with my other hand. It's not bad in terms of. Yeah, I can't really even tell that there's a lag there. And the funny part is that I'm not looking at the radio. I'm not looking at the laptop screen. I'm not looking at my remote control screen over here. I'm looking at StreamYard. So I'm 4 levels of separation. And it's still doing pretty good. So Derek is asking what the usage philosophy for this software is. And I don't 100% know, to tell you the truth, other than because you can.
Easy. So you can use this for remote control. This will do everything SDR control will, and the cost of this is $0. SDR control is what, $50 for the iPad version and $100 for the computer version. This allows you to use, for me, it lets me do remote control because I have a network radio. So I can set my firewall here to do port forwards and all that. And that's how I do it with SDR control. And this would work the same way. So I could absolutely completely remotely drive my radio from my office with this piece of software. In Steve's case, when you're not using a network controlled radio, you know, I don't know, unless you have a bigger screen to look at a waterfall and you can move around with the mouse, that kind of thing. And you could use other software to remote into your computer to drive your radio with this. And then we haven't tested it. Did we decide how to get WSJT-X to work on top of this with this as middleware?
So we have to figure out how to export the audio, which I haven't seen controls for that yet. And I seem to remember that I just had to kind of take it on faith that the audio was there to be exported. Let me check that real quick.
So we have this external control, and you can enable rig control daemon, and then it asks you for a virtual serial port, TCP server port, 0 equals disabled. That's going to require a restart. Okay. So let's put this on 50,005. And then I'm going to disconnect radio. I'm going to save that. And we'll get out. And then I'm going to fire it back up in a second.
There we go. It's a Spanish AM station. And Mike's asking how to do this on a 706. Mike, I'm not 100% sure, but I would assume it works the same way it does on the 7300, which would be serial-based cat control.
Yeah.
And it would be slow.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're serial only, it's not going to be nearly as snazzy with the Waterfall. Okay, so I have that back on. I don't know if I have Mac WSJT-X on here or not.
I need to grab my microphone.
So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm downloading the current version of WSJT-X for the Mac because I don't normally use it on here. And then we're going to try, I think I have WFView set as a the middleware piece, so this should work.
Yeah, so Jody is saying virtual audio cables, but Jody, where do you enable that is what we were looking for. And I like I said, I seem to remember it was just there.
I think this is one of those things that, for the price of this, first of all, it's free.
Yeah, play with it like we are.
Yeah. Download it and run it. You may decide you don't have a use case for it, but So, Steve, I'm downloading the Mac WSJT-X right now.
Okay.
I believe I have my WFView set up to correctly do the
And
thing.
then I think you need VB cable.
I have that. Hey, listen, if I can get it to control the radio, the rest of it's gravy. I'm not going to worry too much about that part tonight. But all right, let's see. Okay, that's going. Let's get WSJT-X up.
There is a bunch of noise on my radio right now.
And now those damn Apple IT security people are making me do the thing because it's not a authorized, signed application.
Hey, this software that you just downloaded and are trying to run, you won't let you run it. And then you go into security and you enable it to run, and then you run it again. It says, "Hey, the software that you downloaded, we won't let you run it. Do you want to run it this time?" Yes, I just told you I wanted to run it, and you launched it because I told you to launch it.
Right, I know. It drives me nuts. I got to say, I think Windows' paradigm for doing this thing is a little smoother than Apple's. Apple's is kind of a pain in the butt.
Is the frequency in use? Kilo, Mike 9 Golf. All right, I am QRP on 7287. CQ, Kilo, Mike 9 Golf, 7287. I think the virtual audio cable is in settings, radio server, but I'm not sure. So settings, radio server, enable, RX audio input, RX audio output, audio system. I can't check any of those. Oh, Jim, look at my screen.
Hang on. Stand by. Yes.
So this control port 50,001, CIV
Yes.
port 50,002.
Those are network connectors.
This means that you can WFView to WFView to 7610. Because this would make this a client of itself. Because those are the same ports that are in the radio.
Yeah. That's not what I was thinking it was, but that might be. But I have to get in my firewall and
7287. This is Kilo Mike 9 Golf on 7287. Calling CQ40. Anybody out there? I wasn't really prepared to run this on the 705, or else I would have had the whole the amp hooked up and everything. No, we got to do this live. That's the point.
WSJT-X 254 is not wanting to run on.
Oh, there's special settings you have to do, and it's buried on the help page somewhere.
Big sir, I'm downloading 260 RC4 right now.
No, there's like a heap size or something like that. Hang on.
I'm getting a shared memory error. It won't even let me run it.
That's what you need to fix. WSJT. It's a real simple fix once you find the page. Present, share screen, window, this window. Nobody's coming back to my CQ call. I realize I should have called more often, but still. Mac OS found here. Download the 254 Darwin DMG to your desktop. You already did that. Use the Max Audio MIDI setup to configure your sound card for 48 kilohertz, 2-channel 16-bit format, system preferences. It's not telling you anymore.
I've got 260 RC4, so I'm fixing to try and see if that solves the problem. But once again, Apple security. I have to go once again, tell it, yeah, really, I want to download that.
Mac shared memory. Did they fix this? It's no longer needed?
Nope, same thing. Unable to create shared memory segment.
Oh, look, ads for Ron
Fatal
Johnson.
error. Yeah, so that's not working. I don't know.
I don't want to Trisket. K0PIR, it should be in the description what the commands are.
Oh, that guy he's put out a lot of excellent ICOM related videos for the 7300, 7610. I think he's done a 705 sequence now too. Sound card. So nothing about the shared memory error, huh?
I don't want an automator app. I just want to do it the one time. I did it on mine, but it's been so long.
Is there anybody streaming after us tonight? You guys in the chat know? I haven't looked.
Let me check real quick.
Hey, oh yeah, Ape says the Crook will be on at the top of the hour. Rob Ferguson, are you running it with Windows or a Pi or what? Because he says his WSJT-X doesn't seem as slow as what you saw with the 7300.
I am disconnected from the chat, I guess. I am on 7287, Kevin. So we have John's spot reserved on the calendar, but I don't see anything scheduled.
It says he premieres in 5 minutes.
KM9G. So I don't even see that.
Yeah.
Okay, now I see it.
Yeah.
The Tornado Alert Device Interview. Okay, cool. That'll be an interesting show to watch, especially if you live in tornado territory like me.
Right.
2 virtual audio cables first, then connect WFView and WSJT-X to each of those virtual audio cables. No sharing config done within WFView. It's just a client. Makes sense.
Well, I think this is worth revisiting on another show. That's where
We'll have to pick the next deep dive portion of the software. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me stop.
Maybe spend a moment to prepare.
Nah.
We'll see if we
prepare
can
the
get
topic.
WSJT-X working on it. Because I'll be honest, I'm going to probably update my Windows machine with the current version and then try and run WSJT-X over top of it on Windows.
CQ40, CQ40, Kilo, Mike 9 Golf calling CQ on 7287. Anybody out there?
The other thing we need to try is that whole remote user thing.
Maybe you can remote control my radio from your location.
But why would I want to?
QRP from Wisconsin, man? It doesn't get any better than that.
It's cold up there. I was thinking you could remote control a 7610 from Wisconsin.
Well, that would probably be a better idea since you were the IT security firewall expert, and it would be easier to get it running on your end.
Yeah.
Because I don't even control the router here.
What? What?
More. It's. Is it ignorance or is it apathy? I don't know, and I don't care.
Right. You know, they found a cure for apathy. Nobody was interested in following up on it. So.
Right. Call out on 7287, Jim. Maybe I can hear you.
Let's see. Can I change this here?
On the screen you're not sharing? I can't answer that.
Yeah, let me share it back. Because I had to restart it.
Kilo Mike 9 Golf.
Life is never too short for QRP.
K7 Sierra Whiskey. That sounds like a familiar call sign. Kevin, I can hear you.
They used to say
Kilo 7 Sierra Whiskey, Kilo Mike 9 Golf.
I heard you on the stream, that's it.
You should be able to hear yourself on the stream too, Kevin.
That was really awkward. I'm listening for you though, Steve.
Kilo Mike 9 Golf. Yeah, Joe, I had the sound turned down on the radio. Kevin, give a call out again.
KM90, KM90, K7 K775. November 5, Sierra Kilowatt Tango.
Oh, I hear Don too. Now that's interesting because my waterfall just froze.
You sure did.
Yeah, I don't know why. Let me restart.
So did mine. Oh man. Oh
That's funny.
no, I was mousing over the video and not the actual radio.
This thing just quit working right when everybody started talking on the air. So we were trying to demo whether or not we could be heard. Don did it, yeah. Okay, folks. Well, we got pretty far in this. We do need to revisit this. It sounds like so. We'll come up with a
KN4YCD CQ Kilo November 4 Yankee Charlie Delta calling CQ40.
Yeah, I can't hear you at all, Jim.
Yeah, I don't think I got all the audio chain set right for this yet. So,
I mean, I can't hear you over the air.
yeah, I'm not entirely sure it was even working. Let's see. CQ. No, I'm not getting any output on the radio. CQ40 Kilo November 4 Yankee Charlie Delta.
Yeah, your waterfall's not even stopping.
Yeah,
so you're not going into transmit mode.
No, it's sure not.
Well, folks, you have reached the end of a fantastic Shack meeting for the Ham Nuggets crew. We got WFView installed. We got it working on a 7610, a 7300, and a 705. We have more to experiment and play with on this. So
yeah,
be sure to be subscribed to the channel and have that bell rang for future notifications. And go over to Communications and Cigars if you're watching this live. And if not, go watch them on Team Replay. And tell them T.O. and Jim sent you. See you all later.
Thanks, guys.